Well, happy Friday, everybody. You made it through another whole week. Congratulations and welcome back to the Successful Author Series. I am your host, Latasha LT Jimerson, also known as Coach LT. I am an author, teacher, book coach, and motivational speaker. I love to help people publish their book in as little as 5 days, right? With minimal stress, right? I love to help people do this because I was able to write my own book in 2017 and that launched my whole speaking career, my coaching practice and my online courses. So today I have a very special guest. His name is Daniel Irby. I call him Coach Daniel. He is a voice coach and he is a person who is going to share with us today this question of, do you like the sound of your own voice? So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring him to the stage. And what I want you to do is ask questions right here in the comments. I want you to also connect with him. He's a part of my Facebook group, which is Your First Book 101, Your First Book Club, Your Next Book Club. And for those of y'all that are watching this on Facebook, hello. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, just put LinkedIn. If you're watching this on YouTube or Twitter, X, just type where you're streaming in from, and I will say hello to you when I come back around. All right, without further ado, here comes our guest speaker of the day, Coach Daniel. Yay, he's here, Coach
Hi.
Daniel. Who are you? Where are you chiming in from?
Hi. Latasha, hi, how are you? It's good to see you again. I'm chiming in from Washington, D.C.
Hey, DC is in the house. How's your weather today?
Oh, I haven't been outside, but I'm sure it's very hot. It's been
Yes,
in the high 90s. So
it's fully summertime there, huh?
it is, yeah, fully summertime.
Yay. Well, I'm chiming in from the beautiful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I just got here on Wednesday for my women's retreat, which starts on Monday. So I am pretty toasty over here, too.
Well, I love that. And I love what you're doing for women who want to write their first book. I think it's amazing. And I'm like now like your biggest fan. So
Thank
it's
you.
amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I am actually going to mute myself and let you talk because there is vacuuming in the background in the hotel. Housekeeping is right there. So I want you to go ahead and talk about your background and how you got started with what you're doing.
Sure.
I want you to like go all the way back. Give us a history lesson on like where were you as Daniel the kid and how did you get here?
Woo! We're going all the way back. Okay. Daniel as the kid. Well, let's see. I actually started singing when I was like probably like 1 years old. I actually have a recording of my mother changing me, and I am singing Happy Birthday to myself. And it was actually really good. So, yeah. Yeah. So, and then I would say when I was 7 years old is when I actually started figuring out this whole singing thing. And I auditioned for a boy choir. I grew up in Wisconsin, and so I auditioned for it's called the Lacrosse Boy Choir, and I went through the rigorous audition process where it's matching pitch and it is call and answer and to see the the voice range and all of that and my mother told me after the audition that the choir director said that he had never experienced a kid at my age to be able to have that much recall when he would play something and I would just like mimic it back. So I guess I was a kid prodigy as a singer. Now, I mean, we got to fast forward because I'm not a prodigy anymore. But yeah, that was that's when I started really kind of loving the singing and I got that from my dad, who was a professional singer, and also my mom, who was a music director. So yeah.
So wait a minute, hold up. We've got people watching. I don't know where you guys are watching from, but I see you. We don't hear you, but we see you. If you could please type something in the comments that tells us, that you're here. I'm going to actually open up the chat. Yep. So the chat is open. If you want to ask us questions, you can. This is completely interactive. I want to go back to the 1-year-old
Uh,
birthday song.
yeah.
How, like, had you already heard the birthday song from someone, or like what was
I
that's
think it was from
awesome.
it was from my mother,
Okay.
and she tells me this story that when she was feeding me, she would say, "Open your mouth and say," and then I would have to repeat, but the next note. So it'd be open your mouth and say, ah, open your mouth and say, ah, open your mouth and say, ah. And I actually did that when I was like one. So
That's amazing.
yeah. So I guess that's something that my mom was just, I don't know. She was just sharing her love of music, with me. So, and I was the firstborn. So that's, she
Wow.
was just, yeah, she was loving on me, from the side of a musician. So, and she is a professional musician as well. She played bassoon in orchestras and French horn, percussion, all that stuff. So, I've got a very musical family. My sister is actually musical as well. She sings and she played flute. So,
Wow, how fun in your house. How fun.
pretty
So it
cool.
sounds like your mom was having fun. Like she was like teaching and playing and just, being who she was in her own natural way and encouraging and fostering your gifts and talents at the same time. That's awesome.
Yeah, I would say that she was just sharing her love of music because she worked really, really hard on her craft, and in high school, and then she put herself through college, and she got a music degree, and she was extremely uh, just super talented. She played bassoon, but then she was actually an assistant conductor. She went to University of Wisconsin in Madison, which is very, very difficult music school. So, and my dad, same boat. He was a euphonium player and then a singer, and he got that. Looks like he got a lot of his singing talent from my grandfather, who was also a singer as well. So
Wow. Okay. So the name of this, and I know people are looking at this right now like, well, why would she name it that? Like, do you like the sound of your own voice? So obviously, Daniel was trained to get used to his own voice, right? Tell us the moment in history, whenever this was, where it became negative, it became like toxic, like you didn't want to hear your own voice. What happened?
ooh, oh wow. So let's fast forward a little bit because, like I shared with you, I was this child that could sing pretty well, um, in the boy soprano way. I was 9 years old when I was singing solos in front of thousands of people. And the first solo that I remember singing was from Rejoice Greatly from Handel's Messiah. And I was 10. And I actually have a video of it. And, I mean, it's not bad. It's fine. But we'll just say that when I was discovering how to like kind of go through the voice change, when I was in high school, it was super natural, as in natural singing. But when I went into college, I had a voice teacher that he heard a higher voice. I was singing baritone and he heard tenor. And that decision probably was a little premature, because then I started changing my natural voice and kind of manipulating my natural voice, trying to fit in and conform. And I started disconnecting from like who I am. And so that was a huge, huge journey to go from baritone to tenor. So I lost all my confidence in my voice. I lost all my confidence in my stagecraft, in my musicality, because there was so much struggle. I had what I wanted to perform, wanted to sing, my natural musicianship, but my voice just was not working. And so, and I fought through that, but it took a long, 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 long time. And the way that I overcame it is I actually started settling back into my true, authentic voice rather than a manipulation and trying to conform into a different type of voice. So I still sang the tenor range, but I was coming in a place of authenticity and alignment. And because of that, I was able to then open up a whole, unlock a new range and feel more confidence in how I was able to emote and share my gift on stage.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about the chunk of time. So from 1 to what, 21, you were like, la.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was, by the way.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was great. Well, we'll talk offline.
I know you'll help me.
No, I mean, so yeah, there was just always this natural affinity of singing and musicianship. It's funny, when I was in elementary school and middle school, I had this boy choir that I was a part of, which was a very, very accomplished boy choir that was singing in German and
Wow.
language and Italian language and, all these different languages. And so I was learning so much with this. I think I called it I don't know, maybe just my classical voice, I think. So I called it, but I was ashamed when I was in front of my peers at school to use that voice, because I thought people were just going to make fun of me. So I tried to conform and get, I don't know. I don't want to use the word poppy, but I just, I tried to be cool and, and fun and, that worked for a time, but I started, I don't know. There was the classical side of me, and then there was this kind of contemporary side, and there was always a little bit of a battle. Even when I was going further through my childhood, I would then be singing in church choirs, in very accomplished, like high Episcopal church choirs. But then I was also singing in school musicals, and so there was just always this kind of who am I? Am I this classical singer? Am I this theater pop type singer? And then I think it was until probably high school is when I started kind of stepping out in no, this is who I am. I'm both. I've got both. And I really started to shine on stage in this newfound quasi classical musical theater-ish voice. And yeah, I started really excelling when I was on stage in school musicals. So now I was also a trumpet player too. And so, and that's a whole new, like, that's a whole different subject. But it was easier for me to sing and to perform on the stage than it was for me to be in the pit playing the trumpet. But I loved the trumpet so much that I like forced myself to, practice as much as I could on the trumpet, and then just kind of let the singing and the acting just kind of just fall into place. So
Wow. Okay, so you've got hold up. You started
yeah,
singing
there's a little, yeah, I
one.
opened up Pandora's box.
Yes. Okay, and we have more people watching. I can't
Oh,
tell who, but StreamYard shows me that there's more people coming in. So I
okay.
don't know which platform because we're all over the place, but you just really opened a couple of can of worms. So
I
here's the
did.
first can of worm. I'm still on the part where you were singing at one. So
Okay.
you had me at that. So that's one chunk of time. Then you were a prodigy. That's what you said.
I
And
mean,
now you're like, not so much, but I think you are. Um, then you talked about middle school, high school, college, and then now you're talking about instruments, and then you just said that you're an actor.
yeah. So that just kind of okay. Now I gotta go way back. Um,
Well, this is actually going to turn into, I thought this was going to be like a one-time show, but this is going to be Coach LT and Coach Daniel's show. We're going
love
to
it.
have like multiple this is going to be a series because we've only been on here for 16 minutes and we already have a ton of people watching. So
Cool.
I know the question that they're going to ask me in my community. They're going to
Yeah.
say, can you get them to perform? And I'm going to say, hold up, wait a
Uh,
minute. You got to stay tuned.
Wait. Yeah, we'll just say stay tuned with that.
Yes.
So
Wow. Okay. So we both have to go. We have stuff to do, but hold on. What do you want to tell them about what you do now? Because we dug a little bit into the history of you. What do you do now? And how can they learn from your story and start to really implement some of your strategies into their lives? Because they may not like, a lot of us don't like our voices
yeah.
in the beginning when we start. I didn't like my voice when I started, but then I got used to hearing myself speak. And I started creating YouTube videos to encourage myself to go to work on Monday mornings when I was a teacher. That's how I started. And then now I love my voice and I listen to my own stuff all the time. I'm like, ooh, that was good. So what do you do now?
Yeah. So let's just kind of we'll fast forward, but I need to like hit on a couple of points. So I did actually become a professional singer, and I sang all over the country. So in opera, musical theater, and then also in the military. I served in the military for 13 years, and I sang in all the important stages all over this country, whether it's Lincoln Center, Kennedy Center, Chicago Symphony Hall, uh, you know, everywhere, arenas for professional sporting events, on TV, online for millions and millions of people. So I was overcome a lot of these, issues and a lot of these limiting beliefs that I had because I was able to find my true authentic voice through a lot of discovery, vocal technique, mindset, breath, body, and alignment. Um, and there was a time though that I almost lost my voice because I was trying to conform into something that I'm not. I wasn't allowing myself to unlock my full voice because I was trying to sing in a little box. Very similar to what I shared about when I was a child and trying to sing in this little box. So, right now, I help speakers, singers, leaders, corporate executives, entrepreneurs, business owners discover their true, authentic voice and to reach its full vocal potential through mindset, going through some of those barriers of the limiting beliefs like stage fright, like performance anxiety, like vocal fatigue, diving into the root cause of where this is actually coming from. And so we go way back, childhood, feeling a shame and guilt by the way that maybe their voice didn't resonate with people. Maybe they were made fun of when they were a kid. Maybe it's just the way that their appearance, because their appearance then felt like they were marginalized in a way, and they were put in a place that they didn't feel as though that they had any authority. So therefore, when they speak up, they don't like the sound of their voice, so that imposter syndrome comes right into play. And then they become sheepish and shy. And this is a step that they particularly need to take in their career, whether they're wanting to go from middle management to leadership management, whether they're being groomed into CEO positions, whether they're just kind of starting out and they need to know how to have control and command over their voice in job interviews. And so what I aim and what I help my clients find is through vocal technique, through mindset and performance technique, how to be able to unlock their voice and to play their voice like a singer would play their instrument. And then once you find this true voice through the vocal technique in one true alignment, then you're able to have this confidence and this clarity and this focus, and to be able to deliver your message to one person, to 10 people, to 100 people, to 1,000 people, to tens of thousands of people, because you have this confidence. You know how to be able to put your voice together to be able to then present your voice and then do it in a way that is truthful and authentic. So you are not manipulating your voice and trying to project authority in a place of falsivity, right? You're doing this in a way that it is so aligned with who you are, and you strip away all of these preconceived notions of how to be able to speak, how to be able to project, right? I show that there can be a way to find clarity in your voice without having to say, project your voice or use this low voice because it's more authoritative and commanding. Or maybe we need to put it up here because then the audience is going to hear it. No. Projecting your voice, the way you can do it is through this clarity of the vocal folds aligning with your breath, aligning with your body. And it's all done in your mind. So that kind of gives a little bit of what I do, how I help. It's through vocal technique, mindset, and then application into your speaking and your presentations.
Wow. I heard you say so many great things. I heard you say breathing. I heard you say it starts in your mind and your body. So you're teaching people how to be present.
Yes.
I heard you say alignment, authentic, and conformity. Wow. Those things are what we are dealing with. And imposter syndrome, that's like the big overarching theme of why it's scary to hear your own voice, why it's uncomfortable to hear your own voice. I love this conversation. So I want to talk backstage for a few minutes
Sure.
because this conversation has taken on a life of its own. It's gone down a couple of different rabbit holes, which
Yeah,
I
fun.
love. I love the
Woo.
rabbit holes.
I know, I can see
Um,
that. You got me going all the way back.
yes, and I have people coming in and going out. Like the viewership is going up and down. So it's the middle of the day and we're on
Yeah,
the East Coast. So there's still people on the West Coast that are waking up. There are
love it.
people on the other side of the world that are going to bed. So this is fun. Let's talk and
Definitely.
let's get the next one on the calendar because
Let's do it.
this is so good. So good. Okay. So you have something coming up. Let's tell them what you have coming up and
Yeah.
then we are going to close this conversation for now.
Yeah. So I have a 5-day free masterclass that I'm on. It'll be online July 15th through the 19th, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for an hour. And I will literally just be sharing what I do. I will be opening up questions and I'll be opening up spots in my program called the Authentic Voices program, my premier premium program where we dive into the 5 pillars of what I just shared about limiting beliefs, finding the root cause of those beliefs, and then stripping all of this away, and then finding through mindset, vocal technique, breathing, and aligning your voice in that place of truth and authenticity, and then application about how to be able to use this in your speaking through tone, inflection, phrasing, dynamics, you name it. And then delivery. Because most public speaking coaches, they actually only focus on message and delivery, crafting your message, how to be able to use stories, storytelling, use facts and figures, and but mine is more about finding your voice first. And then when you have this true command over your voice, then you're able to emote from this place of alignment and truth. And we will also tackle the delivery because as a professional singer, stage performer, I kind of know how to command and own the stage. So, and I
Yeah.
know how to deliver the message. So we
Yes.
will definitely be talking about focus, and we'll be talking about how to deliver this as a stage performer. But the most important part is the mindset and finding your voice through the vocal technique. And this is my aim to help my community and help those that are really struggling with stage fright, performance anxiety, and even vocal fatigue, and needing a new way of discovery of their true authentic voice. So
Wow. This is incredible. Wow. So if you're watching this on the replay or if you're here live, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. You definitely want to check out Coach Daniel's community, and you want to get into this masterclass because he said free 99. That is like the favorite price right now. So you don't have an excuse if you're an author, which if you're watching me, you're an author probably because I've helped you in some kind of way. Especially if you're in one of my Facebook groups, you're an author, you're a professional career person. I was in teaching for 20 years. You're probably a teacher. You could be a servant leader. You could be a coach, an entrepreneur, a public speaker already. And so you know that you need to be in the room with people who can help you find your authentic voice. I do this through writing. Coach Daniel does this through voice techniques. So this is a win-win. This is a
This is
win-win.
a win-win. I love it.
This is a win-win, y'all. And so we're going to come back again. You tell us what you want us to talk about on the next episode, because we're going to just keep talking until you guys get bored of us, which will be never, because we're both very entertaining. So I want you to share with them how to get into your class, Coach Daniel.
Yeah. So just on Facebook, DanielIrby.96, the Authentic Voices Program. But we'll find each other on Facebook, and then I'll invite you because it is a private group. I'm on LinkedIn, /Dan Irby. I'm on Instagram, DHERBE123. And my website, where you can see all of my singing, is www.danielirby.com. And I also have a YouTube channel, Daniel Irby Tenor. And I actually have a lot of my performances on there. So join my community. I would love to be a part of your journey and your vocal journey. And I would love to serve you and help you where you are now. And I'd like to be the vehicle to where you want to get to. So.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. I so appreciate your time. And I know you have an appointment. I'm going to just have you go backstage for just a second, and I'm going to conclude this broadcast. So thank you so much, Coach Daniel. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Latasha. And I mean, I'm looking forward to the next time. It's not going to come soon enough.
Yes, this is awesome. I'll see you in a minute. Well, that was fantabulous, y'all. And I know y'all have a lot of comments and questions for me, and I'm going to circle back and take a look at all those comments and questions, and I'm going to be responding to you one by one. So expect a DM from me. Let me know what your feedback is about the conversation we just had about finding your voice. You know, I'm all about it. I'm all about you finding your voice through writing. You know that I'm all about you marketing, promoting, and selling your books, but I'm also about you getting on stage and shining. I'm all about you getting on stage and showing who you are and showing what you know. It is the only way that people are going to get to know you, like you, trust you, and buy from you. Right? You have to be in the business of serving other people. That is the way that you are going to be fulfilled and happy in your life. The only reason why you may feel stuck or you may feel blocked is because you are not serving other people in the right way or at the level that God wants you to serve people. So if you find yourself feeling like an imposter or feeling like uncomfortable, not standing in your power and operating at the high level that you know you should be operating at, you need some support. You need some coaching. You need some mentorship. And so that is why I do this every Friday series. This is the Successful Author Series with coaches, entrepreneurs, people who can pour into you, people who have communities that you can join and be inspired by these folks. You got to be around like-minded people. You already know that. You've got to make investments of time, energy, and sometimes money. Okay. So continue to come back, continue to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all those amazing things, because the more you support me, the more I support you, the more we can support people. And that's how we change the world. All right. So thank you so much. I will see you in the next recording. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you again soon. Bye.